darlings, and welcome to Digimon Ghost Gaze. This is the podcast where, if you listen to the whole episode from beginning to end, it's kind of like crossing a river in a metaphorical sense. I'm Emery, my pronouns are they, she, he.
This is a podcast where you die.
Podcast where you die.
I'm Morg, my pronouns are they, he.
And I'm Elvire, my pronouns are they, she, he.
Kiyoshiro has it rough in this one, huh?
He has one hell of a time, multiple times.
Multiple times, so true. And he's very correct to be afraid this time.
Yeah, he's super validated. That shit was freaky.
Our boy keeps dying.
He almost dies for real.
He does get forcibly almost killed.
Yeah.
We also find out the river Styx exists in this world, so that's interesting.
It sure does.
This is awakening some theological questions.
There is a lot of interesting theological questions about Digimon.
They do have souls, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a theory about why he's lonely, though.
Ooh.
Uh-huh.
Like, we could get into it later, I could just say it now. I don't know what's better.
It probably makes sense for us to, explain who
Yeah,
you're
that's
talking.
I'll mention it when we get there, because we start off with Gamamon, which is a great start. That's the best start.
First line in my notes, Kiyoshiro Dies.
My first line is Gamamon fighting with Picklemon.
Yeah, they're fighting. For some reason, Picklemon is visiting. Kiyoshiro is just, babysitting like usual, and Picklemon, almost fucking blows up the fucking dorms until...
Yeah, Kyoshiro's, begging for some quiet, and Picklemon's right, sets off a bomb.
Yeah, they're fighting because Piccalomon ate Gamamon's chocolate, and it's getting rowdy. Gamamon bites Piccalomon, and Piccalomon has a completely normal response to this, which is to just create a bomb, a live explosive inside of this child's dorm room. So this kills him.
Quick thinking on Kyoshiro's part, though. He does save the dorm. He's a dorm leader at heart. Doesn't save himself.
Yeah, because he, makes it the fake digital world, and then, he blows up. And then we are starting to watch 2001: A Space Odyssey, the ending.
Oh, I've never seen that one, but good to know that I can skip it, because I've seen this episode, and that's all I need.
Yeah, he sure is floating through space, heading towards a bright light.
Yeah. And then he's in a really pretty field of flowers.
And I'm like, don't go towards the light, except it's fine. He's not. That's fine. He's just in a field of flowers now.
Yeah, this is the in-between light, and he's in a pretty field of flowers, and then there's this gust of wind, and in his room in black and white, and I was pointing at my screen, and I said, oh, that's really beautifully done.
Mm-hmm. And then there's a voice that's just kind of whispering and laughing, and he's not doing great with that. Mm-hmm. As one might expect.
I would have a similar response.
And before he can find out what's going on, he gets electrocuted, and we find out it's because Jellymon electrocutes his body in the real living world.
Yeah, he goes from just being in this grayscale dorm room to lying flat on the floor of his dorm room in the pseudo-digital world, and looking very worse for wear, looking very roughed up, because he just got exploded, he's got that anime battle damage on him, where it just kind of looks like he's got some smears of dirt. And Jellymon is just far too casual about this. Wow, great time to take a nap, Kiyoshiro.
She's
Kiyoshiro's did I just die?
She's no, you didn't. Hello?
Yeah, she's gaslighting him into believing he didn't die. Very Jellymon of her.
Mm-hmm.
I think the funniest thing about this is when Kiyoshiro looks up, like, falling into the abyss and feels the flowers and is like, oh my god, Google says I died.
Yeah.
Google sure does.
Sent him into Google Doc, and the Google doctor's like, yeah, bro, you're dying.
Yeah. just Googling near-death experiences like you do on a Thursday night.
We've all been there.
So then he hears that same laugh from earlier, and it's like, cool. I heard a spooky voice when I was dead, and now it's followed me back to the world of the living. Just great.
Yeah, and it's saying fun stuff like big boulders make your head go splat.
I like that, like, that only starts happening after Jellymon leaves. Like, he's like, oh, I'm going crazy. Okay, great. And I'm alone. Great.
same old.
Yeah.
He literally does think he's, like, losing it, though, because he gets, like, an MRI scan.
Yeah. He gets an MRI and the doctor's like, I don't know, kid, your brain looks normal to me.
It looks a little big.
Which is like,
There's
again,
no way his brain looks normal. This boy has too much trauma.
So true.
There's gotta be scarring there somewhere.
Oh, for sure. Also, this is, like, one of the more, like, subtle, scary moments in the series where it's just like, oh no, I'm having hallucinations and I don't know why. I went to a doctor, but the medical establishment can't do shit.
Damn, imagine a doctor being unable to help you.
Imagine.
So unrealistic, right?
Fucked up if that was real.
He also goes to Mummymon, so he goes to the Digimon doctor, and he's like,
human medicine fails.
There's no bit bomb left over in you, so I'm not sure what's wrong.
Yeah, and, he's talking about, like, if you really were in a state between life and death, then, we could confirm that if we did a little test, and then he takes out just, like, a vial and a syringe and is like, so this is a new medicine I designed to, sort of sedate to sedate Digimon if they get out of control, but it's bad and it doesn't work. All it does is fuck you up and kill you and also do the opposite of sedate you. So I did a bad job with this medicine.
I mean, in a way you are sedated, as in your body is now unable to hold your soul.
At least I think it's funny that when he was first talking about it, Hiro's like, oh, hey, because, he, at first he's like, oh, it's to sedate a wild Digimon, and Hiro's like, oh, yeah, like Kiyoshiro, he's a wild Digimon, but it's like, no, it doesn't work.
Exactly like that. And Kiyoshiro very understandably is like, no, that's not.
He does not want to repeat this, also. He does not want to repeat his near-death experience.
Yeah, but Mummymon's like, with this medicine, we could put you back into a state between life and death, and just to confirm, like, what you're saying, And Kiyoshiro is like...
the funny thing about it, like, it's not even to cure him. It's just, like, it's a little test to see just what is wrong.
It's fine. It's normal. He's fine.
It's fine.
I just, it's, I think it's funny that, like, his friends are still, like, definitely worried about him and stuff, but they're like, we don't know what's wrong. I also think it's interesting that, like, Mummymon is developing, like, actual cures, because, like, he's trying to develop the, calm down stuff, but he also develops something so he can, like, test if there's still bit bomb energy in Kira. I don't know, I think it's fun little world building there.
He's doing science. He's out there.
He's doctoring.
He's out there living the dream of being a doctor who makes a bad drug that kills you.
Only temporarily and only slightly. It doesn't actually...
Only slightly.
Yes.
Yeah. And it might help you when you're too excited, but it also might not.
No, it makes you more excited.
It makes you more excited.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is where this show throws the throwaway line at us that Kiyoshiro is an IT consultant for a big company.
He's just got a full-on...
He's got a job.
He's got a job. He's got multiple
He's got
jobs.
multiple
He also
jobs.
works
jobs.
with that scientist.
Once again, anytime we just see like a tiny glimmer of Kiyoshiro's professional life, and it's like, why is a 15-year-old allowed to do this? And Ghost Game will just refuse to elaborate.
He has anxiety. And imagine having anxiety and having multiple jobs.
Yeah. But like a lot of his anxiety is like social anxiety though. Like
True.
Yeah, so now he talks to more people.
Yeah, true. But I'm like, he probably likes the distraction to be able to do multiple jobs.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
I hope he likes his jobs, because this is not okay on certain levels.
Yeah. He's fine. It's normal, but he's not able to do it.
He's not fine.
He's not
because he's upset.
Yeah, he's not able to do his job to the best of his ability because he's like falling asleep.
Yeah, he's not sleeping well since he's been hearing whispers from beyond the veil of death. You know how it is.
Like you do.
So he's going to the bathroom. There's a caution wet floor sign, and then the spooky voice is like, talking about a slip and a fall and crossing a river, and then he slips on the floor and almost busts his head open on a urinal. So
he like catches himself.
Death by toilet.
Yeah.
It would be such a dumb way to go.
For real.
It would.
It would be such a Kiyoshiro way to go, though.
Yeah, and Jellymon would never let him live it down.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know, something about this, like, the way he caught himself did kind of strike me. Like, the way it was framed, it looked like he was almost, like, surprised that he, like, that he managed to grab onto something and stop himself from falling. I don't know.
Yeah, it did. It sure did.
Yeah.
I got that too. And he's like, oh god, a slip and fall, just like the voice said. And then, he's walking outside and still hears the voice.
And it calls him friend.
Keeps calling him friend, and it's like, what kind of friend is trying to fucking murder me?
It's toxic. It's a toxic friendship, Kiyoshiro. You've had many of these. Please stop.
This one is trying to kill him with a sign, though, an electrical sign.
Yeah, like he's just walking underneath like a sign for like a storefront or something, and it explodes and just like rains down glass, which almost hits him.
Mm-hmm. And he runs into the street, and he almost gets hit by, I can't read my own handwriting, a motorcycle or a car, something.
An electric scooter or something, or motorcycle or something.
Oh,
but,
scooter.
I just think it's funny that he's like, oh, he wants to not just have 3 of me, he wants to cut me into thirds with this sign, and I'm going to die.
He's really getting Final Destination over here.
He sure is.
Yeah, exactly.
Grim Reaper's just hanging out around every corner.
And he gets too scared to move. And I imagine that he probably called Hero and is like, I'm scared. Please come help.
I'm dying. Yeah. Please help me.
Because we see him like all huddled up, fetus position basically against the wall. And Hero's calling Ruli like, yeah, I found him. I'm gonna try and get him home. Look at these notes that we made.
Yeah, he's probably having a panic attack, which is reasonable, all things considered.
This is very reasonable, since he almost died like 4 times and actually died once.
I would too, TBH.
Yeah, me too. It's like his friends are like starting to like come around. They're like, oh, something is haunting him, I guess, for real. Because Jellymon's like, oh god, I left him alone, it's my fault. I don't know what's happening. I don't know why he almost died, 3 times.
Yeah, and Hiro is also, starting to take notes on, what Kiyoshiro is, talking about the voice having said.
Yeah, and doesn't really, show Mummymon what he's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where they get, so all the lights are turning red for Kiyoshiro and Hiro as they're trying to, get back, so they have to take a huge detour, and while they're doing that, Mummymon is like, oh, it kind of sounds like the Digimon.
Sounds like spirits are trying to talk to him for real, and not just spirits, but Digimon spirits. Dead Digimon are trying to talk to him, who were killed beyond their time, and Goramon's Mummymon would know, because he can also kind of talk to spirits, because he's a mummy, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
A reach, but I'll accept it.
I'm whatever, I don't know his powers fully.
Yeah, they could say whatever, and I just nod.
Yeah, it's Digimon. You can get vague with the powers. It's fine. We can hand wave it.
Mummymon can do whatever the plot requires him to be able to do.
He's undead. It makes sense, kind of, I guess.
Yeah, it does. It does actually make sense. And I think that's when Wooly calls back in panic and is like, "Oh no, he thought she's really in danger, but it's too late." Because the danger of self-driving cars are being proven.
So true! Elon Musk. Gotta watch this fucking episode. Oh my god.
I can't believe Elon did it to our boy.
Yeah.
Fucked up.
Unbelievable.
Fucked up. It's because
fucked up.
He doesn't want, he's trying to kill all the other brain geniuses.
Kiyoshiro is a threat.
He's a threat.
He's
a threat to Tesla and SpaceX and all that.
I think Kiyoshiro has the better Tesla.
Fuck. That's so cursed.
Damn.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that they're he's calling him friend, and he's saying that they want to take him across the river, and they don't understand what that means yet, and they won't until nowish, actually, because like you were saying, the self-driving car comes to life with little Digimon circles showing that it's controlling it, and it just the way it's shot, it looks like the car just runs into Kiyoshiro.
Yeah, the car's coming right at him, and then it cuts away. So we think he got hit by a car, but later that turns out to not be the case. And yeah, when it cuts away, then we just see Kiyoshiro back in the tunnel of light, and then feel the flowers, and then just in back in the city, but all grayscaled out.
Yeah, he's in his near-death experience realm again. And
the creepy voice is back.
The creepy voice is back, and we actually have a face to the creepy voice. Was this... We don't find out their name here, but I think it's...
Yeah, it's later.
Yeah. But it's just this masked Digimon monkey guy. And
yeah, probably not a great Digimon design in terms of it's just a monkey wearing a tribal mask and a grass skirt, and it's not good.
It's very native stereotype, but it's also something I'm used to seeing now because of the Archie comics for Sonic Shuffle.
You're having a time.
Knuckles be let's just make his whole family fucking native stereotypes. Anyway, doesn't matter. Fucking...
This one says freaky shit, though, because I wrote down a couple of his quotes, because I think he said proper scary things in a childish, naive manner.
Yeah.
Like, this Digimon genuinely believes that what they're doing is okay.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're not dead yet, you're going to leave again. And then it's like, oh, I've never had a friend who wasn't a Digimon before. And, oh, humans have to cross the river to die. So that's what I'm gonna do to you. And then at the end, it's like, oh, it's okay, it's not scary. And I thought those are really good quotes. And they really unnerved me. I don't know how to explain it properly, but it was like, I had goosebumps.
Oh yeah, there's like a real eeriness to it, even though like the conceit is like a little bit like funny. It's like, oh, it's kind of like a creepy kid's voice is like talking, and there's like a naivety that kind of makes it like more fucked up that what he's saying is, what the Digimon's saying is that he's trying to kill Kiyoshiro for real.
Yeah.
Because when he's talking about crossing the river, he like shows this like portal, and he shows the river, and Kiyoshiro's like, oh my god, that's the river Styx. You're trying to literally kill me.
Yeah, this is like very direct in the way that is that it is just like, you know, confronting life or death stakes. Like, I don't know, like this is a character like being real close to dead in like a very like tangible way, I guess.
Yeah, like a main character close to death like is kind of surprising.
Yeah. And I think it's like especially driven home when like we see Kiyoshiro being like just totally unconscious, being like loaded into an ambulance with like, you know, with like the full head brace on.
Yeah, he's
like,
got the neck brace, head brace thing, and like
oh no, how bad did this car hit him? Like, is he actually okay?
Yeah, and like he
turns out he is, but still.
He is, but
yeah, he's physically completely fine. He's just missing some key components. Namely his soul.
He's kind of missing his soul. See, the problem is that his soul is out of his body, even though he's only got a bump on his head, which they find out because they bring him to the hospital, and like Hiro like follows behind, and they kind of like one of the quote unquote EMTs takes him and just kind of goes through the doors, and like Hiro at first is like, what the hell? And we find out it's Betsumon, disguised as a lady.
Because Clockmon made him to help out. And I'm like, is Betsumon now permanently under Clockmon's control?
I would assume so.
Yeah.
I assume, it seems like Clockmon's got a pretty tight leash on this Betsumon. The way I'm assuming that it played out is just like Clockmon took at least one of them out behind the shed and is like, all right, you better fucking behave if you don't want to be next.
Yeah.
I give zero shits about your lives.
Right. It's just...
And frankly, he's correct.
It's just funny because, like, now he's helping them, but, like, Gamamon's like, what the fuck? Why are you here?
Gamamon is mad at Betsumon, as he should be.
As he should be. But, like, he is helping, so I guess we'll have to... But he brings them to Mummymon, because they're like, okay, this is a Digimon problem, not a human problem so much, so... And yeah, Mummymon's like, yeah, his vitals are fine. He's not hurt other than the bump on his head, because what actually happened was that he dodged out of the way of the car and bumped his head on the pavement. Like the curb. And
reflexes are insane.
Better than mine. I would have been hit by the car. I'm gonna say it.
Died.
I would have absolutely been hit by a car. And I was like, damn, this nerd has better reflexes than me. I'm so sad.
Yeah.
He's got those gamer reflexes.
True.
True.
You gotta be fast if you wanna if you want to get good at a fighting game.
He's playing enough VR that he can physically do that. But
yeah.
He does get diagnosed soulless.
He is soulless.
Which is harsh, but you know what? Sometimes your therapist just has to be real about it.
I mean, it's harsh, but as we just discussed, he is a gamer, so...
True, yeah.
And Jellymon is like, I can fix that.
I can fix him!
Yeah.
And she just shocks him.
Yeah, Jellymon watched another Pokemon movie. She watched Mewtwo Strikes Back, and she does the scene where Pikachu is trying to electrocute Ash back to life.
Yeah, she watches the first Pokemon movie, and it's just like, it's like Ash is a rock, but I'm just gonna... And I'm like, Jellymon, you gotta get them to cry on him. That's how you solve it.
But Jellymon would never cry, so...
I could see Jellymon cry.
It gets kind of real for a second, because, like, Mommymon is like, hey, I'm not sure what we can do for him. His soul is gone. You might want to start saying your goodbyes, which is like, whoa.
Yeah, it's pretty intense, and Jellymon's just kind of sitting there, like, what the fuck?
If Jellymon was more of a crier, she probably would be. Cry. I mean, she kind of is hysterical. Like, she kind of does, like, just keep trying the shocking, and is like, this'll work.
Mommymon has to physically stop her at a point.
It's like, hey man, this isn't helping. Like, sorry. I know it sucks to hear that. But we cut back to Kiyoshiro, who is trying to hide from this freak.
Yeah, he's playing hide and seek. He's having a great time, actually.
They're playing a survival horror game now. Because he's hiding in a behind a door, and he's like holding his mouth, and he's like, at first he's like whispering, he's like, if I get caught, I'm gonna die for real. And then he like holds his mouth and like hopes that the monkey Digimon guy doesn't hear him breathing even. And like at first he's like, okay, I think I am okay, but he like sighs, and then he's caught. Ah!
Yeah, you see the little eye pop into the door opening, like, found ya. Hate that. Very good.
It's so fucked up how slow the Digimon is walking when Kiyoshiro is like running away from him. He's just like, I'm gonna lumber after you and like throw my boomerang.
There is something that is scary about something that is slow catching up to you.
Yeah.
Something that is fast catching up to you.
Yeah.
And also that boomerang is doing some damage. It is like just cutting apart, just like cutting chunks off of building and raining down rubble on him.
Yeah, because he's still in the black and white like city, so it's like, all the buildings are like falling down. And Kiyoshiro is like running, and he's like trying to use his cell phone, which is just like...
It's so... I love that. That he's in a lot of trouble, and he still thinks, maybe I can call Hero, and that'll fix everything for me.
I mean, that does kind of happen, though.
It does happen, but his reflex of, oh, I'm in trouble, please let me call Hero, is amazing. That's what he always tries.
So true.
It's the modern horror aspect of it.
As we've established, Hero is like the only responsible adult in the group. Who else are you gonna call?
And Goromon.
Talking about Hero, it's adorable when they're like... I think it's when Mommymon's like, oh, you might want to have to say goodbye. And he was like, I'm gonna miss Senpai. Oh, no, I should call him dorm leader.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
His preferred title.
So he gets the idea of like plugging his phone that's like, it seems to be off. Just because of like where he is in between worlds or whatever, but he like sees his Digivice like watch thing, and he's like, it's still on, and it shows his heart like beating, which I think is kind of funny. Like, oh, this is literally just a smartwatch, which we knew, but, like, he's like, wait, I can plug into this. And so he just, like, finds wires in a store.
Yeah, just grabs a USB cable.
And he just plugs it in. I just think it's funny that, like, the wires still work, like, for whatever reason. And his phone's on, and he calls Hiro. While he's, like, trying to hide behind a car.
Yeah, and they're all just watching the phone. Hero's like, oh, I'm being called by Kiyoshiro. And they're just watching the phone ring.
Yeah, they see his, like, they see his real phone just, like, on the table, like, wow, that's fucked up.
I love this. I don't know why, but, like, the concept of, like, being able to call someone from beyond the grave, or, like, whatever, with, like, your cell phone, it's just, like, very funny to me.
It's good.
It's good.
It's just like, oh, his Digivice can just do that. And,
We love some weird Digivice magic.
Technically, he's sort of in a digital world kind of thing.
Kinda, yeah.
Kinda.
Enough that the Digimon that's hunting him is, like, physical and...
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But imagine getting called, and the person you're on the other side is actually unconscious next to you, and then he says, oh, I'm in an in-between world, between this world and the afterworld. Send help.
I'd be like, what the fuck is happening? But yeah, Jellymon actually has to answer the phone, because, like, Hiro's still like, huh? What?
Hiro has seen a lot of shit, but I feel like he reached a limit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, yeah, Kiyoshiro's like, help me, I'm gonna die! Help! Ah! And they're all like, holy shit, he's alive, kind of? His soul is somewhere in the world.
Yeah, and, you know, he drops the phone then, because, you know, he's still being chased by Sepikmon, and then Sepikmon just, like, fucking grabs him and starts dragging him, like, through the portal he made towards the river.
Yeah, and in the real human world, they, like, realize it's Sepikmon, because of, like, what he's talking about, and, like, you know, like, oh, a masked Digimon that can only talk to spirits of the dead. Mm-hmm. And they're like, shit, this, like, jungle Digimon that can only talk to spirits of the dead is trying to kill Kiyoshiro for real. And we need to get one of you guys also between the worlds.
Yeah, because, you know, Hiro reasons out, like, well, if Kiyoshiro was able to call us, then, like, he's still connected to this world somehow, and that means we can still probably reach him. So he's like, okay, one of us has to go after him, and, you know, and it seems like he wants to do it himself, but then Jellymon's like, no, give me the funny medicine that makes you die.
Yeah, it's meant for Digimon. It's not because I care about Kiyoshiro and anything.
I mean, we all know she cares about Kiyoshiro. She even
cares so much.
She even says it in a few minutes. But that Mommymon's like, all right, I'm gonna give it to you, and she just kind of like fades out of existence, or fades out of consciousness.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. As Mommymon's like trying to talk to her. And she like arrives in space, and she like goes to the flower field and does all the same stuff, and then she arrives in Kiyoshiro's like dorm room in the black and white though.
And she is super energetic.
Yeah, the drug's secondary effect kicks in. She gets a fucking... She just took some uppers, is basically the thing.
She's like, and she's like...
She goes Super Saiyan.
She does go Super Saiyan. She has the whole energy crackle going on around her.
She took some of that shit that made Goku's hair yellow.
She did, and she didn't even have to do a weird dance to get it. Amazing.
The weird dance is for fusions.
Oh, right. My apologies. My Dragon Ball knowledge is limited to what I saw as a child and that one movie I saw last year.
But somehow, she, they, it cuts to Kiyoshiro being dragged to the river Styx. And it's, to the point where, he's in the water, his legs are in the water, and, he's crying.
Yeah, no, he is just, really just struggling against it as this guy is just, dragging him.
He is so close to dying.
Yeah. It's rough. Our boy's having a tough one.
He's having the worst of times.
It's rough, and, he's kind of, waist up in the water, and then Jellymon appears through the portal from somewhere.
Yeah, and she just drop kicks, Sepikmon.
She, pulls Kiyoshiro with, her tentacles and drop kicks Sepikmon, and she's like, fuck you, don't kill my friend, boyfriend, partner, person. Fuck you.
Yeah, she does underline mine a couple of times in spoken word.
She does say, he's mine.
Yeah. Also, I forgot to mention, as Kiyoshiro is being, dragged away, he's getting swarmed by, little will-o-wisps that are also, whispering at him. So it's okay, normal.
Yeah, that's right. The will-o-wisps of, people, or, something, is the implication, since it's at the river Styx. And he also says, before he's dragging him into the water, he sees all these stacks of rocks, and he's like, humans are so fascinating.
This is his first time in the human afterworld. So bizarre.
I think it's, I'm sure the stacked rocks is, part of the river Styx myth. I just don't know it well enough. Most of my knowledge of the river Styx has to do with Super Paper Mario.
I mean, my knowledge is already...
And Hades.
Because I thought you started forgetting everything the moment you touched the water, but Yoshi is clearly still himself, so...
Thank God.
And I think there's supposed to be a boatman that takes you to the other side.
Yeah, there sure is.
And only in this case you get dragged under, and I guess if you drown in the river Styx, you also die, so... Still works.
Fair enough, yeah.
So Jellymon evolves to Tesla Jellymon, and they fight, and Jellymon Tesla Jellymon just fucking kicks the boomerang out of midair and shatters it, and it's pretty dope.
It's awesome. And then, with the explosion, she does, her, fistless attack or whatever, and, blasts Sepikmon, but, grabs him before he, blasts away. Grabs him with, one of her tentacles, and then grabs Kiyoshiro with another one, and she's like, let's leave!
Yeah, so then Jellymon and Kiyoshiro wake up, and it's like, oh good, they're back. Neither of them died, that's good.
Jellymon is so cool that she can just say, I'm done dying.
Yeah.
I'm done here.
I've had enough of this dying bullshit.
Dying is uncool, and therefore I will not do it.
And also there's someone else here. Sepikmon's just here in the normal world now, because Jellymon wanted to bring him back so she could kick his ass in this world too.
I thought that was great. It's really funny though, because Angoramon is holding Sepikmon, and Ruli's poking him, and he's like, he's so cute.
Really, this cute thing nearly killed Kiyoshiro, but go off, I guess.
Higachi's fine. It's fine.
He's fine. He's doing great. He's doing amazing. I'm sure he's not traumatized by this experience at all.
No. He's fine.
And then I think it was Angoramon who gives the little You can't just kill people because you want friends.
So true.
Yeah.
Just a big man.
Once again, we have to tell a Digimon that people die when they're killed.
Yeah.
Truly,
honestly,
a wild concept.
This is fascinating that like Digimon spirits exist because they do get reborn as.
I think that's why he's lonely. Because Digimon get reborn super quickly. Like, they die and you instantly get the Digi-Egg, right?
Is that your theory?
That's my theory, that he sees them super briefly, and then they go and be reborn. And he's there all alone, and he's clearly used to being alone, and he's super excited about his human friends, and I think he believes that human friends are gonna stay longer.
Right, because
my secondary theory was that the only reason Kiyoshiro ended up there is because he died in the fake digital world the first time.
We do see the will-o-wisps, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not fully formed.
Yeah, true.
Beings anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's in the river and not in the digital world, not in the grayscale world. We only see the wisp at the river part, right?
Yeah.
Which is the human afterworld, supposedly.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like, why? Almost, yeah, because I'm wondering, like, is Kiyoshiro, like, the only human who's, like, shown up in, like, this particular, like, liminal life in death space? That is, like, an interesting question.
Right, especially because, like, people die. Like, that just happens.
I think he is. I genuinely think that the fact that he died in the fake digital world the first time is what triggered him going to the digital afterworlds in between space. Because it would explain why it's the first time he's seen a human. Otherwise, it would be like, oh, here's another human.
True.
Yeah,
and, like, yeah, the Digivices definitely do some, like, funky dimension manipulating shit, so yeah, that wouldn't surprise me at all. Like, yeah, if somehow that just, like, sent him to, like, a different space than humans usually end up.
I've got a super good solution for his loneliness. Because you know what human is in the digital world that we could just unalive?
Just bring Hero's dad to the fucking...
I'm just saying, if he's gonna hang around being useless somewhere...
Honestly,
so that'd be cruel to Sepikmon. We couldn't do that to him.
Yeah.
I think it's funny, like...
Hokuto would definitely be, like, the flakiest friend, though, you know.
Somehow...
You would try to ghost Sepikmon despite the fact that they're the only two creatures there.
Yep,
yeah.
For sure. And so that was something, too. So Mummymon did say that, like, Digimon ghosts, like... You know, they might just hang around when they're not done yet. So that might be part of it, too. Like, it might not be just that they're, like, there for a second. But, like, some might have to hang around if they're, like, you know, still have stuff to do and in the living world. Like, because I do, like, Mummymon did mention that. Like, yeah, sometimes spirits just chill. But I am curious about the fact, like, we also didn't see any Digimon there, so I'm like, was that not the digital death world? Like, all we saw was
the in-between, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't the actual digital death world.
Yeah, it's just, like, interesting that we only saw Sepikmon. So you might be right, like, that they're only there for, like, a second and then become Digi-Eggs. So, it's interesting to think about.
I feel if they really fleshed it out, and if they really wanted to, like, go around this, some souls hang around longer in this in-between world, we could have seen, and Digimon names that sound so similar are so hard to me. Which one was the professor again?
Pokemon?
Yeah, we could have seen him.
Oh.
And that would have been a really cool addition, I think.
That would have been nice.
And it would have opened the idea of, oh yeah, some Digimon souls hang around for a little longer. They didn't do that. I feel like this is sort of a throwaway thing and we're thinking too hard about it, but also this is my favorite thing to analyze about media.
It has been quite a long time since anyone's mentioned Bokomon. I would like to see him at least get a mention again, you know?
Yeah. I agree.
Would have been a cool opportunity. But I think they've written him off. Like, he had his character pushing moment. And I don't think we're gonna hear anything about him or his death ever again. Sadly.
That would be unfortunate.
Yeah. I'm sad thinking about it now.
Yeah. I would like for his character to be like, you know, more long-term consequential. Like, I don't know, maybe we'll get like more of a payoff for him like next time we see like Gulu Scamamon. I don't know.
What if they introduce us to his reborn form? I think that would be really interesting. Especially if the personality was slightly altered. Yeah, that would be cool. That would be a cool payoff for that.
Yeah, because like we got the introduction of like, you know, Digimon like coming back as Digi-Eggs, but yeah, we haven't really ever seen like the next part of that, you know?
Yeah, they've never really driven home that these Digimon are actually dead, and this is a new creature in the same shape, with the same potential as the old Digimon. But, you know, we're all formed by our experiences. If I was born again today, I would turn out quite different, I think.
Oh, for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right, so...
On the other hand, those are all very deep things, and
but,
this is a good show.
But yeah, so Sepikmon, they're like, okay, so he's... can't be like hanging around the big city. He's used to like the jungle, and we don't want him to just like kill people, I guess. So
that would be bad.
So they do like bring him to like what the fuck is it called? It's just like not a temple. Somewhere where ghosts hang out in Japan.
I think it's just like a graveyard. Like,
oh, okay. I thought there was another word for some reason, but yeah, they like bring him to like a graveyard area and are like, here you go, you can hang out with some ghosts here.
Yeah, so he's just hanging out with all the will-o-wisps there, having a great time.
Yeah.
And he wasn't punished again, I guess.
I mean, I did do something wrong, but I do think that punishing him wouldn't work because he would have to understand what he did wrong for the punishment to actually drive home. Otherwise, he simply wouldn't understand which part of it was wrong.
Yeah. I'm just surprised. I'm surprised that they could convince Jellymon not to do something.
I assume Jellymon pulls multiple pranks on this poor unsuspecting Digimon.
True.
Because I do feel like Jellymon is the kind of Digimon to hold a grudge.
Or maybe Jellymon is only really persistently mean to you if you're friends with her. Who could say?
Yeah.
Who could?
She might not give him the time of day.
Yeah, she probably forgot about this guy already. It's fine.
And Gormon gives us the lesson up in the corner. Like, his face is just, like, in a round circle in the corner as we're watching Sepikmon, like, frolicking.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like it could have just been the voiceover. We didn't really need that window with Ngoromon sitting in it, especially since like it was just like a great background behind him in the bubble. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was a scene. It sure was a scene.
Yeah, that did feel sort of out of place to me. But the line is, humans, 15 years. If they wander between life and death, it is the same as a dream. Wanting friends, but also to live. Hey, does this mean Kiyoshiro is 15? Fucked up if true.
Yeah.
I think he's 15, yeah.
I
Yeah.
think he's 15.
Yeah.
Because he's slightly older than the others, and I assumed the others were like 12 or 13.
Yeah, I did check Kiyoshiro's bio, and it said 14, but that was, like, at the start of the series, which was more than 6 months ago, so, like, yeah, probably 15.
When is this boy's birthday? What star sign did they give Kiyoshiro? For some reason, I desperately need to know. I'm gonna look it up, but I don't know the star sign, so that's not gonna.
Yeah, I don't know jack about astrology, so I couldn't help you.
The gays that don't know about astrology, we exist. And we're all on this podcast.
True.
I only know mine.
Yeah, same.
I'm not gonna figure out what time of day I was born. Are you kidding me?
Oh no, a friend of mine once asked me that, and I had to ask my mom because she desperately wanted to know what my moon sign or something was.
I did find out that at one point because I thought it was kind of fun. Also because
my mom knew.
Also because, like, yeah, my mom knew, and it's part of it is because her birthday is the 28th and mine's the 29th of May. So if I had been born 2.5 hours earlier, I would have been born on her birthday. Fun fact.
Fun fact.
She was in labor on her birthday. Fucked up.
Fucked up.
Yeah, my mom just knew I was born in the afternoon because she was home in time for dinner. So that's the thing. There's no birthday. There's no birthday. This boy has no birthday.
I'm telling you, he's a Kyle XY.
He is a Kyle XY. You're correct.
No birthday, no belly button. Let's go.
Yeah, and he can't have a bad luck day if he doesn't have a star sign. I think that's how it works.
Sure. Yeah, let's go with that.
Good episode. Even if Kiyoshiro died twice. So true.
Even if our favorite characters, Kiyoshiro and Jellymon, both died in this one.
Yeah, it is fun, because now I can, if someone new starts watching it, I can tell them one of the main characters died.
He died.
It won't be a lie, and I love doing that to people, because I'm a little mean sometimes.
He dies, but he's fine.
Yeah, he dies, but he's completely fine. There's no trauma.
Ghost Game of Thrones.
Fuck.
I hate that so much.
So do I.
That's so cursed.
It would have been a better show, though.
Game of Thrones would, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Yeah, Game of Thrones can only be improved if it had just been about Digimon.
Yeah, put Digimon in Game of Thrones. I mean, the direwolves are a good start, but, like, we need more little guys.
Yeah, and get rid of some of the humans. There's too many of them. Well, I guess the show sort of does that. You know what? I take that one back.
Fair.
I've never seen Game of Thrones. I just know some things about it. Not enough to make jokes.
Alright, so let's wrap it up. Let's do our plugs. Elvire, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Eruvire. And that's it. That's all I've got.
You can find me at Haunting the Morgue on Twitter. That's Haunting the MORG. You can also find me on my other podcasts, Sonic Shuffle, a random and holistic Sonic lore podcast, and Forward ReZero, a ReZero Watch podcast. That's it.
You can find me on For Affinity at the username Space Robot. You can also contact me about art commissions at spacerobotart@gmail.com, or on Discord if you know me there. Also, I'm on a podcast called Gone Will Hunting, and an upcoming podcast called We Rate Queerbait. Both fun shows that I hope to release episodes on soon.
Oh, yeah.
You can find this show on Twitter at DigiGhostGaze, and you can find our Discord linked in the show notes. We have a pretty rad Discord. We're doing Digimondays. We're doing art streams most Fridays. Come hang out and chat with us. We're starting App Monsters really soon. We just have like 2 more Mondays left of Digimon Tamers, and guess what? If you have Mondays free, then you're legally required to come watch App Monsters with us, because it's a good fucking series and no one has seen it. So this is a Noisespace.xyz podcast. You can go to Noisespace.xyz and find all sorts of neat shows on it. Shows like, I don't know, 0 to 0. And Kyle XY, which is done, but it's a good show.
Listening to.
Yeah, you can binge the whole thing. That's nice for people who like to do that.
Nice.
I know. Diet Coke and Litless House of Snacks just had their 1-year anniversary episode, so I'm looking forward to listening to that.
Hell yeah.
I recently added anime sickos to my things that I listen to. I think that's...
It's not Noise Space, but it is.
Oh, damn it. It is a good show, though.
The Anime Sickos were recently on an episode of Pot of Greed, where they talked about Yu-Gi-Oh! GX and how normal it is if you don't have context for anything happening.
Yeah, Pot of Greed, which is Noise Space.
Yeah, that one is Noise Space. I know podcast apps.
It's all good.
Yeah. Alright, I think that's about all. So, until next time, all you poltergeist, ghouls, and non-binaries, Digimon is for the gays.
For the gays.
Goodbye, darlings.